Hi everyone, and welcome to this different time for some crafting time together. I'm so glad that we can still get together though and have some fun unlocking some paper crafting tips and tricks and fun and ideas. I'm Lillian, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada, and usually I come to you on a Monday evening at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. But I was on holidays, so I was enjoying that and having a good time, but didn't have access to any of my stamping stuff. So I'm glad to be back, able to share with you. So before I go down to my desk, I have a question for you. What is something that you like to do when you're on holidays? This holiday, we were on Vancouver Island and we just relaxed. All we did, well, basically was long walks, lots of eating, reading, and just not doing too much of anything that was intensive or anything else. It was totally a relaxing time. So what's something you like to do when you're on holidays? Leave that in the comments below and just say hi, and I will go down to my desktop. All right, while you're doing that, here we go. Let's get all set up. I'm feeling a little rusty. It's been a little bit since I've been able to be on live with you, but I think we've got it. And just make sure that we've got the computer going and that kind of thing. Everything seems to change, and then of course not being with it for a while. There we go. We'll see if that works. So right here I have a card that I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, and it was this one here, and it was definitely a big hit with everybody. And so thank you for everyone who's been leaving comments and been casing it and trying this technique out. That was wonderful. It really encourages me. I absolutely love that you do that. So when you do that, I do put your names in for a draw. So let's see this is for M. I think is it Weeman? So whoever you are, if you could message me or email me with your mailing address, I will pop that into the mail for you. So make sure to do that, and we'll have that. So I'm going to share something with you today, but just before I do, just a little heads up that Paper Pumpkin has a really neat kit out, but you have to subscribe before November 10th, which is not all that far away. That's Monday. So what it is, it's a kit that will come right to your door. It'll have everything you need to make 12 tags. So you can obviously have some glimmer paper, that kind of thing. And so you'll make 4 each of 3 designs. Now tags not only look pretty on a parcel, they also are great for putting on a card, and just you've got an element for your card all set to go. So it's got some special stuff in it. It's got the stamp set, a cherry cobbler spot. And if you want, you can add on some gift bags if that's something you want to do. So you can find out all about that by going to my website, or if you want to subscribe, here it is here, and I'll put the link in the description afterwards. So just be aware that time is running out for that, and I'll put that over there. The other thing that's happening in Stampin' Up! World right now is the release of this new collection of products called Fitting Florets. Now, if you follow on YouTube or Pinterest or wherever, you will likely have seen lots and lots of samples already for this, because we as demonstrators were able to order this a month ahead of time. That's one of the big bonuses of being a demonstrator, is you get to pre-order 1 month ahead of time, or during the month leading up to a new thing. Usually we get to pre-order. So I've shown you this a little bit before, but I'm just going to talk to you about what's here. And I'm seeing people hop on. So good morning, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. So there's a bundle included in this collection. It's called the Framed Florets Bundle. So, and then the Framed Florets dies. So instead of having different names, the dies and the stamp set have the same name, which is wonderful. This will be in the next mini catalog coming out in January, but you can get it ahead of time here. So, and it is wonderful. Then while supplies last, the rest of the collection, we have these wonderful little gold adhesive back swirls. We have this great Christmas word stamp set called Framed and Festive. And then we have amazing paper, Fitting Florets 12 by 12. So I'm going to show you this, and then I've started to play with some of these things. So I think you're going to absolutely love it. Remember, if you want to see it on my online, you can go to my website and see it clearly there as well. So here is the bundle. So here is the stamp set. I absolutely love the fonts and the wording, and it's so versatile. And then there's this here as well. Then there are the dies. So it's actually one of these two sheets of dies, and I'm going to explain these a little bit more later because these dies cut out all kinds of things, but I'm going to leave this out because I might just use that in a moment. And then that other stamp set is called Framed and Festive, and here is right now. We're going to use this today. We were using it last night in stamping time, my stamp club, and they were so excited about the fonts, about the words, and some of them were suggesting you can even use just part of it, so you could put from our home on the outside and to yours on the inside, or make a tag with it. There's tons of possibilities. Then there's these tinier ones here, so tons to do with that. So that's that. So you know how when I have dies, I like to make my little visual. So here's the Framed Florets dies. So some of the dies actually cut out some of the stamps. So those would be the more of the floral and the leaf images, right? So the dies will cut out those. And then we have dies that just cut out some great leafy things, which are always fabulous to have. And then I think the star of the show are these ones here. So what happens is if you take this one here, you'll notice if you run your hands over it, it's raised, or it cuts where the hearts are, but nowhere else. And so you can add an element to your page that looks like this. And I'm going to show you some ways to adapt that as well. Then we have this die right here. And when you cut out this die, it actually cuts out a frame, and I don't know if you can see how it's embossed, and then it cuts out an oval. So you've got the two pieces that you can put together or use separately. So that is what that die does. And then this die here cuts out this as well as this. So it's a slightly larger oval than this one, and it is this here. So my suggestion would be, once you get these, is to cut out a few and start playing. And you're saying, what about the other stuff? I'll get to that. I just want to show you a few things that you can do with these dies. So let's bring in some paper. So for example, remember this one here that just cuts out this like that? Well, if you did that, so here's the heart one. If you put it down on some paper, guess what? This one fits right inside. So you can cut out the center. So what does that look like? it looks like this. So let me put it on here. So now you can cut out the center as well. And this is your frame, your heart frame, plus all these little hearts. Wonderful, wonderful confetti for a shaker card, or if you just want to put a few hearts on something. So you can take this and transform it to this, or you could even bring in one of these frames that is also cut out from this and add that in there. So you see how you can start, let me just pick that up, start to layer and play a little bit, and then the oval from here, you could have a different color, you could pop it up, do something like that. So there is one idea. Let's bring in some more. Remember, they can go either direction. So what if you cut out this, and again, and then what it does is this is the center of it. So that's lovely. That looks beautiful like that. Holds some nice big words. But we could bring in, let's bring back this here. We could layer this in here and change it up a little bit differently like that. So again, a totally new look. What else can you do? Well, if I was wanting this to be on top of something instead of just framing it, this oval fits behind here beautifully. And I'm going to show you a card where I did that, because we did that last night in stamping time. And then also you have two different size ovals, right? Just got to pick them up. So you could start to layer your ovals and have fun like that. Now, we don't have any oval dies to speak of right now. And so this to me is just filling a huge gap in our die collection and has all kinds of fun possibilities. So I just wanted to share, just to get that brain percolating a little bit, so what you could do with the dies. So here is one more look, just sort of like that. All right. Now, let's take a look at some of the other things in that collection. We have the designer paper. So it is beautiful. Some of it, like this, can be used for Christmas or any occasion. This is all I have left of this piece. It does come 12 by 12, and then it has this on the other side, which is definitely all occasion. Then we've got this, and then that on the other side. I can never decide which is my favorite paper here. I keep switching around. Then this, and this paper here, one of the dies actually cuts out those flowers, just like that. So that one there. So I think there's like 7 or whatever flowers that you can cut out of here. So I love it when Stampin' Up! Does that. So there's this. And I love how the different colors that they've put together here. And then this as well. This is Evening Evergreen, the gingham. So fun paper. I've seen tons done with it, and you're going to see tons more. That paper coordinates with these colors of cardstock. So polished pink, night of navy, evening evergreen, crushed curry, soft succulent, blushing bride, and balmy blue. So some strong colors and some soft colors. So you've got the best of all worlds here. So just a super selection. So let's take a look and see what we're going to do today. So we're going to take a piece of this paper. We're going to take a piece that's 4 by 5 and 5 1/4. Oh goodness. And then we're going to put it on top of some cardstock. So I need your help. Which cardstock should I put it on? Should I put it on Evening Evergreen? So you could put dark green if you can't remember. Soft Succulent or Basic White? Which should I choose for my card base? There we go. So just let me know which one. Somebody's saying soft succulent, soft succulent. Okay, soft succulent it is. As I was doing that, I was just thinking if I'd been on top of the game, I could have used the both. Doesn't that look pretty together? I think that's an option too, but we're going to use soft succulent. Okay, so we're going to start. This card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. So our basic card size, a half a piece of cardstock, just like that. We'll fold that and use our bone folder here. Just like that. Then we're going to bring in the piece of this, but I have altered it a little bit. So I have started to color it with cherry cobbler. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I did some ahead of time so that you didn't have to watch me color forever, but I wanted to just show how I did this. So I've seen these berries colored pink. I've seen people sponge over top if you didn't want to color it, whatever you want to do. But if you can see these berries, I think they're mistletoe, they actually have some dark parts. So I used my dark cherry cobbler right where it was dark. I wasn't too fussy, just kind of did like that. And then I brought in my light cherry cobbler and pulled the dark out, and then as it dries, it seems to blend a little bit better. But it just, again, gives the paper a whole new look. It's always fun to alter designer paper when you want to. So I used the cherry cobbler blends and this. So I'm going to put this on top of here. Then I have brought a piece of vellum that is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and it's going to go on top of here. So it makes it just kind of mutes the paper a little bit and adds a softness to it. And then we're going to use the oval here. This oval here, and we're going to cut that oval out of a piece of basic white that's 3 1/4 by 4, and then we're also going to cut it out of the same size in gold foil. So let's just do that right now. Bring in my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I know that it gets really close here, but I'm not very good at adjusting my camera, so we will just do it this way. So we'll pop this on here and run it through. And I get the oval, and then I get the embossed frame. So we want the oval of that one, and we'll keep the embossed frame for another card, another project. So we're going to do the same with the gold. And if you weren't going to use the center of that gold, you could have put some of the leaf images in there and cut them at the same time. But we might use that oval at some point. Let's just get that out of the way. So now we have, again, the two pieces of the gold. So what my plan is, we'll see how it works. I want to use these two pieces, and I want to put them on here, like that. So we've made it a gold frame, and we're going to stamp on here. So we're just going to bring in the framed and festive and pick out one of these. Did I pick out one? No, that's something else. Okay, so let's see. Some of these are being used for another class, but what about this one here? And because the stamp is clean, I can sort of plan it out and see if it works. And I think that's going to work. So I'm going to bring in my block and put it on my block. I like to try to get it straight, but I don't necessarily do that. Bring my oval back if I can pick it up. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. That's the dark green, just to give it a little bit of richness. And have yourself a merry little Christmas. There we go. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to build this card on the vellum before I attach it to the card itself, because then I know where to put things. So I'm going to first of all glue that right down. Bring in my seal. Try to get it so it looks all right. There we go. Just like that. Now for this, I can do a couple of things. I can glue it flat. I can add dimension. What do I want to do? Should I glue it flat or put it up on dimensionals? What do you think? What would look good here? And while you're telling me that, I am going to just glue this. Oh, look what happened to the back. Our blends bleed through, right? So now the back looks like that. That's kind of neat. There we go. I see the word dimensionals. I don't know if I saw that from anybody else or not, but we'll go, that's what I see right now, so we'll give that a whirl. So now I've got this here, I can actually fasten it to the front of my card. And I'm just putting adhesive where that element is so that the adhesive won't show through. So we'll put it on here like that. That looks pretty good right there, even if we didn't do this. So let's bring in some mini dimensionals. I think they'll work. Now I am going to show you in a bit another way that you could add dimensions. Do you know what I'm going to use? I think I am going to use the edge here. Use the edge of my dimensionals. They're like half a dimensional, and I'm thinking they might fit better. We'll see. Oh, they're about the same. I think the minis are better. I was better off with the minis. So we'll bring them in and just scatter a few. Now when you're working with a narrow edge like this and adding dimension to it, after you're done, it's always important to go back and look at it from the front and make sure none are peeking through, because they would just kind of detract from the whole look. So let's do a check. Oh, this one right here, but otherwise we did pretty well. And because we didn't shove them right down, let's see if there it's down. Yeah, that's good. All right, we're in business. So let's remove those backings. All Butterfingers today. I like to use this to help me remove my dimensional backings for two reasons. Because I have trouble getting them off, but also it collects them all on the end. So there we go. Let's bring this in. And we've got it like that. There, we've got the dimension, and it's not looking too badly at all, but we need to dress it up a little bit. So beforehand, I used some of the dies to cut out some of the little twigs and things. So I'm thinking that we could put this here. I tried to think it through ahead of time a little bit. Now, one of these goes this way and one goes this way. So I guess we better let the leaves go the way they want to go. What I'm trying to do is avoid covering up my words. So there, yeah, that'll work, I think. So you can see we could leave it just plain, but we can dress it up and do whatever we want. So now what I'm going to do is put a mini glue dot right here, because that's going to get covered by some others. And I'm going to live dangerously and put one where it's a little thicker here. The rest I'm just going to let be fluffy and be flowing free and easy. So there we go. Let's see. Let's move it over a bit. There, we've got it like that. Now we'll bring in the soft succulent one. I just absolutely love Stampin' Up's coordination, that everything works together. When you're trying to plan a project, you know that the colors are going to coordinate, the ribbon, everything. It's just amazing. So, maybe a little bit like that. Good. Now we need to cover up that make it look finished here. So we could do that with a little gold bow like that, or we could, I was altering some ribbon the other day, evening evergreen and gold. We could do that, or we could just do a bow, or we could combine two, or we could bring in and just tie an evening evergreen bow, or we could add some gold ribbon. Hard to know what to do. Let me see here. I think I'm going to go with the evening evergreen right now, and we'll just tie a little bow and put it on. Sometimes it really doesn't matter. You just have to make a decision, right? So there we go. Remember, when you're doing a bow, you just hang on to the middle and keep pulling the little ends until you get it the size you want. And we'll bring in another glue dot, and then we are going to embellish with one of the swirls. There we go, just like that. Move these out of the way, this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in the swirls here. These are fabulous. They're pretty flat. They have that, I don't know if you can see, they have that swirl on them, and they're gold. Now, you can color them with your blends, but because they are a gold base, they will tend to be lighter. So that's how that goes. So let's see. Oh, we'll just put you up there for now. And gorgeous. And look at how many you get. They look little on this package, but the package is a standardized size. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 times 5. So that would be, I don't know, I can't do math and talk at the same time, but that's a lot of swirls. So there you are. Now you're saying, what about this vellum? It's curling up. Do you know what? It'll start to lie flat again shortly, but there you go. Now I said that I was going to talk to you about how another way of raising this up. Another way of doing that would be to take our adhesive sheets. So the adhesive sheets come in a package like this. So they are, let me see, looks like they're 4.5 by 4.5, and then you can just cut them down in your trimmer. Your trimmer cuts them just fine, and then cut them just a smidge smaller than the cardstock you want to use, like that. And then you can cut it, or you can run it through your die cutting machine. And I'm going to show you one that I did in just a little bit. So, but before we do that, we had better finish the card off, right? So I've got a liner that is 4 by 5 1/4, and let me just see, what could we have yourself a merry little Christmas. May this, oh, that one's downstairs. We can do from our home to yours. How's that? There we go. Like I said, I am just absolutely loving this stamp set. It sort of fills the little hole. I mean, I love my other Christmas words as well, but these just seem to work so well with them. They fill in some of the, oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. 75, did you say, in the pack? That's a lot of swirls. And they are so neat that you don't have to use tons, just like I used one and it worked out beautifully. So now we're going to bring in a stamp from the, where did I put it? Here it is. We're going to bring in this little stamp here from the framed florets. I just need to grab some scrap paper to put underneath. Like that. And I'm going to stamp it off. And then just put a little swirl there. And one there. And then we've got the inside decorated just like that. So this will go in here. And we've got a Christmas card made. So there's that one. Now, I have just started to play. It was torture to be away on holidays and see all of the ideas for these cards and not be able to get my hands on my stamps. So I've just played. I'm just starting to play with it. But my first play was this one. So this one here, this is where I actually put the foam adhesive onto the cardstock, ran it through, and so this is all raised, and all I had to do was peel the backing off. And so that's how easy it was. And the only thing you need to do is run it through the die cutting machine a couple of times. It's just a little bit harder to cut, but it's perfect. You love the whole suite. So do I, Diana. I am really enjoying it. Now, did you notice something about these two cards? They're identical layout. So all I did was turn this card that way, move this down here, added gold instead of white, but they are, and this was cut out right from the paper. And then I just cut some ribbon into pieces and stuck it out from behind. But they are the same card layout. So remember, if you find a layout you like, remember you can do lots with it. And then inside, I just cut, because this piece was on the edge of the paper. Remember, you can use the edges of your designer paper too, and that's going to go on the inside. I ran out of time there. So I know that I'm going to have lots of other samples for you, but I have a couple more. Here's one that we made last night in our stamping time. So it's a fold like this. It stands up very nicely. Now, this is where, remember I said that we use the bigger oval, the oval from this one here. So this oval behind this. And it was big enough then that it caught it and it could be freestanding like this. So, so you can see it just is a smidge smaller, but it works beautifully. And so that, they look a little bit the same, don't they? So I used the same idea because I was a little brain dead, but it worked just perfectly. So there is that. This, the berries were not colored. This, they were. And then I did one more just using the words from here, but remember, you're not locked in to the paper. So here I used the fa la 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 to stamp the background, and then 'tis the season to be jolly, and then stuck the little penguin in here. Now I did get this idea from for demonstrator in the States, Ange Mackenzie, but she had a little Santa hat from a paper pumpkin kit. But I just loved the color combination and how everything popped, and using the fa la la in the background. And so I wanted to share that with you. So, oh, and on the inside of this one, I did the Merry Christmas. This is right again from that framed and festive stamp set. So what can I say? If you like this, definitely be sure to check it out. The swirls, the designer paper, and the framed and festive, the Christmas one, they are only while supplies last, and I need to tell you, they are pretty popular. So I'm not sure they're going to last right till the end of the period. The framed florets stamp set, this one here, and the dies, these will be available until next, well, I don't know, May, June, whenever it is. So tons of versatility here. Maybe your brain's percolating. If you do have it and are making something with it, would you please share it here? We'd love to see it and share ideas. Or if you say, well, I don't have it, but I think I could make a card similar to what we made today, just change things up a little bit, go for it. We'd love to see what you do. So there you go. I just started to play. You're going to see lots more ideas with this collection. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave comments, whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube, and maybe your name will be drawn. So just a little reminder, M. Weeman, if you message me with your address, I will send that into the mail for you. And thank you so much. Remember, if you're looking for my website, it's right here. If you're placing an online order, please use hostess code, this hostess code right here. And I'll put the link for my website and Paper Pumpkin in the description. So have fun, everybody. I hope that's got your brains going. Take care. Bye-bye.